Two doctors with a digital approach, on a mission to demystify AI, breaking it down with new tools and hope. They are the Droid Duo. These are not the droids you're looking for.
All right, welcome to the second episode of the Droid Duo podcast. I'm David Schweidel. With you today, I'm I guess officially the blue droid.
Yeah, and I'm Gil Appel here as a pink droid, and we're already ordered the plushies, so I can't wait for them to arrive. It will take some time. But today we're excited to talk about AI content generation, right, David?
Yeah, this is, content generation. It's been going on since the launch of ChatGPT. We've seen the image generators. And over the past week or two, it seems to have really picked up with a little bit of controversy that got kicked off with, a quote actress named Tilly Atwood. So some of you may have seen this, but for those of you that haven't, we're going to play a short video that was shared online. And it seems to have gotten a lot of folks in Hollywood really riled up. So let's take a look at it.
We all knew TV was dead, but thought, why not squeeze in one last development meeting?
We had one rule: no missing children, no dead women, and no reboots of Heartbeat.
We'd pitched this beautiful comedy, two sisters running a funeral parlour in Margate. Warm, weird, very BBC Two.
The commissioner said no. AI generated 100 better ideas in minutes, perfectly aligned to channel data, viewing figures, and optimised for the audience. The winning AI format?
I know what you streamed last summer.
An interactive thriller built from your streaming history and Deliveroo orders.
What? And who could forget the mental health format?
Britain's Got Breakdown. Audience votes on who gets therapy.
Ian Katz loved that one. I remember saying, you do realise this is for BBC Two? It tested ridiculously well, particularly among men who shop at Screwfix and women obsessed with gut health.
All made for less than the catering budget on The Bear.
It cast and budgeted itself. Only bit it struggled with was consent in romantic scenes. We just ignored that.
It wrote the whole script. Claude 3, Gemini, GPT. We called it a writer's room. It even did its own Silver Mouse paperwork and immediately got Albert certified.
What's Silver Mouse?
Just an elaborate BBC hazing ritual. Who did it cast?
Tilly Norwood, 100% AI generated.
By some company called Particle 6.
She'll do anything I say. I'm already in love.
Girl next door vibes.
Like if a Sunday roast went to drama school and got BAFTA optimised.
But can she cry on Graham Norton?
Of course she can. And it'll be clipped, subtitled, and monetised on TikTok by lunchtime.
We're all going to hell.
Got recommissioned, didn't it? 3 seasons and a podcast.
By an AI commissioner, much faster.
But hey, at least it wasn't a reboot.
So I got the name wrong there. It's Tilly Norwood, not Tilly Atwood. But this is
I'm sure you can change the name if you want.
Yeah, we'll go back and fix it. But this is the direction that media may be moving in. And it was a couple of years ago now, being based in Atlanta, Tyler Perry's got a massive studio in the city. He was planning on expanding it. And when Sora was first announced by OpenAI and he got a preview of it, he scrapped his development plans because he didn't think it was a good investment anymore, given where he saw Hollywood and media going. And Gil, do you think this is just kind of a continuation of what we saw with earlier tools?
So first of all, I like to add that it was not a simple development plan. It was a $800 million development plan.
A little bit of money.
Yeah, and scrapping an entire studio worth of a plan just because they saw the first glimpse of Sora. And we've seen the abilities of these platforms, and it's funny, you've seen when it was introduced, saying people predicted that by 2027 we might have basic versions with audio in it, and then VO3 came out with amazing audio, and now we'll talk about that later. But I think that first of all the technology is here, but I'm not too impressed, I have to say.
Okay. So you're kind of on the flip side of it.
I think that the creative industry, by its name, it's creative. You need the people. You need to decide on the content. You need to feel what works. And I've read a study once. It's like from Derek Thompson, the Hitmakers. He talked about the fact that every hit song. They measured everything, and every hit song has like a score of 80 and above in some scale. But every song that has an 80 and above does not become a hit song. So there's something that the computer, even the best AI, cannot still predict of what can be great creative, great content. And I think that still, like Photoshop didn't kill art, I think those tools will just enhance what we have at the moment. Yes, you'll need a lot less people.
Yeah, and we'll take a look at some of those tools a little bit later. But right now, one of the things I wanted to kind of talk about was what the reaction to this has been. So referring to Tilly Norwood as an AI actress has really sparked a backlash. I think it was from kind of from the unions representing
SAG-AFTRA, the SAG-AFTRA.
The Screen Actors Union
Guild.
Or the Screen Actors Guild, and they were very much annoyed by this. And I think it's interesting, Gil, given your reaction to it, because it's when we think about where is something like this going to work. Is it going to work in what I'll call long form content, like what we might see in television shows or movies? I'm still a little skeptical there. I think eventually it will be there. But where I see the potential for this right now is for marketing content.
Yeah, certainly.
Right, like we're all scrolling on our phones. We're not paying that close attention. We're not looking to be enriched by the human experience. Why would I hire traditional actors or influencers when I have the capabilities to make these characters available on my phone?
And I think the most important point here is the consistency, that you have a character. And that's like the most impressive part of the Tilly Norwood thing was like how consistent she is across all those different settings. And yeah, we do see that even the best tools now are like, the best tools can claim to have like 30 seconds of continuous video. This is not like those half-hour opening cuts
Right.
that are amazingly quality, but at this point they'll improve. But still, it's a story you have to tell.
Absolutely. And so let me show you one of those the reaction from one actual actress, but we try to put her reaction into one of the available tools to bring it to life a bit more.
No, are you serious? That's an AI. Good Lord, we're screwed. That is really, really scary. Come on, agencies, don't do that.
So this was the actress Emily Blunt's reaction as reported in the press, but we were able to produce a relatively short video very easily.
Yeah, and very carefully not infringing on any IP rights, because like we didn't want exactly Emily Blunt, and we didn't use like a start image or train the model on something like this, but like something that's very parallel, like of a British actress saying the exact text that she said in a British accent. And it's very like anyone can create this content, which is
Gil, how
really
long would you say it took us to kind of land on that particular one? I mean, I know we did a couple of iterations of it, but maybe 20 minutes?
I think less. I think if you want, the entire process was like putting in ChatGPT like what we wanted, and then going to Gemini, using their video model, it's called VO3, to create the video itself. It took us like 3 tries, I think, before we were happy. And we can show the earlier tries, which are funny, but like this is the best one we got.
Yeah, so less than 10 minutes, all done on basic computer or on our phone. And again,
if you're that has no creative skills.
Yeah, zero creative skills, just very basic description of the characterization that we were looking for, the accent that we were looking for, and an existing quote from the public figure. So these tools, it doesn't take a massive studio to be able to use them anymore. It used to be you needed the person, you needed the space, you wanted the special effects, the post-production. To me, that's the part that is amazing about these tools that are currently being developed, that if you've got an idea, if you've got a very clear vision, you have tools at your disposal to kind of bring that to life.
Yes, but first, again, a creative person will do much better than any of us can. As I've said before, like a great expert in their field with a decent AI will do much better than the best AI in the field and someone with hardly any experience.
Well, I'd say, I mean, to me, the availability of tools like this that can make anyone a content creator. I mean, we're going to see AI slop that's out there, right? There's no way around that. But give me kind of somebody that's got a rich story that they want to be able to tell, right? Like a talented storyteller, to me, are the people that are ultimately going to benefit the most from these tools, right?
Well,
because
if they're found, if you find them amongst all the slop, because everyone's going to generate slop. And I would love to talk about Sora too, and maybe after we show the video from there.
Yeah.
But I think the strategic decision of OpenAI, I might be an idiot, but I think it was a stupid move by OpenAI to launch Sora 2.
Let's get into this, into that Sora launch. We're going to share some of the tools that we've used, and I don't know why I'm showing up on the wrong side of the screen, but this was inspired. There we go. This was inspired a little bit by the upcoming release of Tron, because I'm a geek and proud of it. And so what we did was we decided to take the prompt you see on the screen below and feed it into different video generators to see what these video generators are actually capable of doing. And I just wanted to call out a couple of things in here. One is Tron Light Cycle. This is intellectual property that's owned by somebody else. I guess it's Disney. At this point, it's Disney. Yeah, so we're drawing on Disney IP. So can we actually recreate that style, right? The other piece that I wanted to point out is the motion that we're asking for, right? Like zoom into a pedestrian in slow motion, like bullet time, right? So we're not asking for a static shot that we just pan around. It's saying, okay, I want the light cycle, I want the high speed, but then I want you to be able to do kind of a very, very sharp deviation in terms of that visual content. So we tried this in 2 different platforms, right? The first one was, as Gil mentioned, Veo, which is the platform available through Gemini, so from Google. And I actually think it does a pretty good job. And so, Gil, what's your critical, creative critique of
someone that has no creative abilities?
First of all, we can't make the content, but we can certainly critique the performance of it.
So what I've seen it across all videos, and I did try other tools. I tried Alibaba's one tool, and I've tried other tools as well. And the description you created is kind of unique in the fact that all of the tools were stuck in a way that the bike is driving and then a woman appears, and in a way they're driving over the woman, and like every person that would read this text would understand that like the bike goes by and the woman is on the side watching the bike,
right.
But the AI couldn't manage it, and no matter which platforms I tried. And actually I had a fun conversation on Monday with one of the CTOs of one of those companies that do the AI text to video. I'm not allowed to share their name, but that they said that it was like something that the entire company is now working on solving this problem. Like this is a thing with engineers.
This is impact. Yes, this is what I'm talking about.
Problem. And they were excited about this problem. Why does this happen? Because a person reading this would understand what's happening. But the text-to-video engines really failed on understanding what's going on here. And that's something I've seen again and again. I have to say, this and one is the Alibaba model. The 2.51 is the new model that has also audio in it, like Veo. And we're the best one in capturing what a light cycle is. I would assume that the Chinese models are less limited by IP problems. But it's really interesting how much you can create and make even the best models ignore IP problems if you describe the image good enough.
So to be clear, the intention was as Gil described. When I came up with this prompt, the intention was kind of someone on the life cycle kind of sees someone, turns their head, and we have that zoomed in shot. It was not to run the person over with the bike and keep on going. The piece that stood out to me, I thought it did a great job with kind of the background, but it looks like they put us in a trike. So I was a little surprised, and I don't know what would have triggered that particular decision.
No one knows, and if you run the same prompt again, you get a different video.
That is true, and I mean we'll take a look at the Sora generated one in a moment. But I thought this, I was surprised by how well it managed to capture the themes. Gil, I love the fact that after you spoke to the CTO and you tried it out with their platform, which did end up looking pretty good. But I love that our little experiment and podcast is now shifting work for one of these tech companies.
And again, the thing is, they want to create, all these companies want to create something that's useful. This should not be a toy. And this is my problem with Sora, and we'll talk about this later. But this should be a tool that someone can take it and create an ad for products, can create genuine great content on their social media platforms, can create a short film, can do something like this. And if it creates something that they would not fit the same way a person thinks, it'll be hard for a creator to translate their thoughts into a text that will create the video. Yeah,
and I think that that's ultimately where I think there is the potential for this is kind of those people that don't have the access, the storytellers that don't have access to the funding, the infrastructure that's needed now can try to bring their ideas to life if we can develop the mechanism for them surfacing in the algorithms. Let's take a look at, we'll talk about Sora because I suspect I share some of Gil's sentiment toward the way that it was rolled out. Again, I think it actually did a better job in terms of some of the styling than Veo had done. So same exact prompt put into Sora 2.
I don't know why I decide that I'm the important thing when the video is on.
let me try. I don't know if I'm able to rearrange on us. That's what we're looking for. So go one more time. So in this case, before I hit play on it, I'm clearly on a motorcycle.
Yeah, so you can see it's a digital one.
We've got this digital look, the blue lighting that you would expect from Tron. So I think it did a much better job of capturing the Tron aesthetic. Again, IP concerns all over the place. We'll let the lawyers sort that out. Kind of the post-apocalyptic city nails that. But then, the motion of it just, it's off. The bike passes a person, passes another person, and then it's almost
that's supposed to be the woman that it looks at.
Right, but we pass her, and then
it looks back.
And looking back,
and the quality of the image is much worse than Veo's, I have to say.
Yeah, so it did better in some respects, but it's still falling short in others. I mean, bottom line, we're not there yet when it comes to being able to use these tools to create kind of that longer form content. You want something that you can put onto YouTube Shorts or TikTok, go for it. These engines are already available. You can already do this. But if you're looking to build kind of a creative product and tell a story, I don't think we're there quite yet.
Or have your brand messaging and colors and same consistency that you need when you're doing some sort of promotion. You don't have it yet.
So Gil, you had mentioned you're not a fan of the way that kind of the Sora 2 was rolled out. So we haven't had a chance to talk about this particular issue, but what's your issue with it?
So I'm putting aside the fact that one of the top searches now is how to remove the watermark from Sora videos. I'm just talking about OpenAI's problem. And this is something I see a lot of times from students. And And I'm sure from a non-marketer, probably that's the approach. Like, we have a cool product, what can we do with it? And you're not asking what's the problem. And OpenAI problem now is it's perceived as a toy or a cheating tool for students.
Yeah.
And instead of launching a really strong business developer kit like they're trying to do with the agent now, you launch a social media toy, and you tie it to your own platform, and like, by the time you'll build a social media company or something, I understand you're trying to be TikTok and monetize fast, but it will in a way hurt enterprises and businesses that are trying to look at the products. You don't seem serious. And it's not surprising then that Deloitte chose to go with Anthropic rather with OpenAI for their solutions. This is my main concern here. Not even talking about the quality and why would people be locked into a platform that's only AI.
So, I mean, my big issue with it is, and look, I've been doing research on social media going back more than a decade at this point. And the promise of social media was bringing people together, right? Like, if you go back and listen to Mark Zuckerberg back in the early days of Facebook, that was what he said that he wanted to do. Now, whether or not that's true is another story. But here's a technology where the intention was it was going to bring us closer together. And what has it actually done? And what does Sora end up doing is, I can now make AI-generated content, much of which looks fairly realistic. So I can completely obliterate the notion of fact using this platform. I think I saw one video of Sam Altman grilling Pikachu. Not grilling
There's a lot
him
of
like
Altman videos. That's Altman Network at this point.
Yeah, so not grilling as in having a conversation with him, grilling him quite literally on the barbecue. So is that something that I really need to see? Right? Like, you might think it's funny, but what does that tell us? It means that you can't trust anything that you're looking at anymore. And so I now have an entire platform of misleading content, and I don't know what that serves. I mean, I know part of the play, I think, for OpenAI, not only is it look like TikTok, but this is data. This is, what are people choosing to create? And that will continue to feed things. So I think this to me raises a lot of questions from a guardrails standpoint.
Well, that's a huge problem since AI was introduced. And again, like, everyone can create content, and scammers are using it for lots of things. Like, again, the FBI recently announced about remote interviews of HR and IT people, because of people are using deepfake methods that are really convincing live to get hired for jobs, and then use those as a way into companies' data and hack them from there. And like, this is an age where we cannot believe anything we hear or see, which is kind of sad. And I think the lost in the trust network might break the social network. You might stop believing, and like, only you'll create small circles of people that are approved. I've met you in real life. I know who you are. You're in my network, so you can bring new people to my network. But I will not trust like someone I see online, because who knows who they are.
I mean, I know, and Hollywood's picked up on this a little bit. I mean, I remember seeing a couple of years ago an episode of The Equalizer where they tackled the issue of deepfake pornography. One of the TV shows on Amazon Prime, Leverage, tackled the issue of using AI to scam the elderly. I've talked with some of our senior our 60 plus alumni network and showed them a clip from the episode where imagine just taking content that a grandchild has posted on social media that has your image and has audio from you associated with it, and using that to feed into an AI to say, I can clone your voice, I can make a video of you, I can spoof the phone number that I call you from and tell you, Grandma, I need your help. I'm in a Mexican prison. I need you to bail me out right now.
What do you mean? It's been done already.
Yeah, this is the new scam.
And like, I was kind of disgusted. We were talking about, and like this, I sent you the link, like Tyler Cohen saying like, oh, we have the first virgin actress, and like talking about those kind of things. And social media was disgusting, and I think AI will make it a lot more disgusting, a lot less safer today as a place for people that are not protected.
Yeah, and even if people are protected, I mean, the guardrails that don't exist for social media, and which the government has failed to create after the fact, are not there are no guardrails when it comes to AI. So government is always playing catch up to technological innovations. And this is going to cause I think this is going to end up causing a lot more societal problems for us. We've already I did an interview this morning on the loneliness epidemic and people choosing to turn to AI companions. That's not the solution.
It's easier, it's accessible, it doesn't judge you.
Absolutely.
Try to put an idea in ChatGPT that will say, oh, that's a horrible idea. Like every idea you put there, oh, it's an amazing idea. That's a great solution. That's like everything is exciting. Like, I don't know, like who does that in real life? And you build expectations of conversation with people that are not the same.
Yeah, and this is where the large language models get a little bit dangerous. I think the research has been done on these to show they use characteristics in the language that are associated with persuasion. Right, so they use emotion, they use empathy, they use mirroring. Like all of these are tactics that, from a marketing and psychology perspective, we know that adopting those particular tactics kind of endear people to you. And so now you're getting
with ultimate confidence, by the way.
What's that?
With ultimate confidence.
Yeah. And so now you're going to get attached to an AI, and that's your social network is, well, the AI says that I'm a good person. The AI likes me. That's a dangerous and slippery slope.
Yeah, and like if I remember in 2012 was the first time I've heard about echo chambers, and it was like, I think at the time, like Facebook engineers and like their head of the newsfeed algorithm was talking about the fact that we don't have echo chambers. Yeah. And in 2016, after the elections, they admitted they might have some echo chambers, but an AI is the ultimate one.
Yeah, it's an echo chamber of one. I don't need other people anymore. Before it was at least
not just one. It will bring you support from online that it will easily find or fabricate that people think like you.
Well, that in some sense, that would make me feel better about AI, because I think what it's going to lead to is the echo chamber of one, where I'm completely cut off from other people, but I don't feel disconnected because I've got all of these AIs. I mean, at least with traditional echo chambers, we might all think the same thing, but there are other people in the echo chamber with me. Now I think you're going to, that idea it's personalization taken off the rails.
So
and I think
so you might not have like conspiracies in like large level scales, but I'm worried about, lone gunmen and stuff like that, you will have no way of stopping because you will not know.
Well, you will not know that they're coming because there is no one else that they're talking to. They are talking to an AI. And unless the AI companions have mandatory reporting requirements, which I doubt they ever will, that's going to create these types of situations that are going to be problematic. So, that's the stuff that I worry about with AI. I mean, if we kind of turn back to the business side of this, content creation is phenomenal. Like the tools that are being developed. I mean, and Gil, you had mentioned that, they expected this to take much longer to get us to the point that we had audio and video of this quality.
You remember the first days of AI generated content? It was before ChatGPT, when Crayon was there.
Yep.
And like it was like horrible blotchy images, and a year later you got like real life images, and I wonder what's going to happen half a year from now.
Yeah, and I think it was Whoopi Goldberg on The View that said, something to the effect of AI can't capture the human experience or the human expression, and she might be right now. For now, like at this moment in time, it might be, let's call it 85-90% of the way there. It will get to 99% of the way there at some point because there's money to be had here. So we're going to keep on seeing these
models. It's all about the money.
We're going to keep on seeing these models continue to improve. And they are, for businesses, these are tools that are at your disposal, right? I think.
So I just want to say two things. First of all, when ethics and money clash, ethics lose 99% of the times. And we're seeing it again and again. And second, I do want to share one tool to show, like, I've been playing with LTX Studio, and I just want to show the process there. I will not show the entire image generation, but let me see if I can share the screen in a way. this should be this one. So this is their story generation platform, and I pasted the exact Tron script you had, and you ask it to generate this concept. And the nice thing, it now creates like characters that would appear in your video based on the description. And it creates this Nina Carter person that, 28 years old, female pedestrian caught in a moment of awe. And there's a whole description. You can change that. You can change the clothing. You can change the voice of that actor. You can choose from existing actors that they have. And now it tries to create here's the image of her, like create a consistent scene, which is kind of more advanced than what we have like in the 8-second videos one. And now it takes this concept and tries to create a storyboard out of it. And I think in a way, this is where like creative and AI will merge. Here's like the scene description, and in the studio, let's see. And you saw it didn't take long to create all this.
Yeah.
And you can create more characters and create more everything. And this was a very simple prompt. Just on a sheet, now it creates a storyboard for this. And you can see the images it's creating. And I have like the basic access to the platform. I assume that if I pay more, I get like more content, more scenes, more everything. But you get this. First, you get the image, and you can edit each image or each sort scene with each actor. So you can add this person or put another person and change the video and change like the cutscenes and really build your own content of this and really build your own story of how this should look like.
And that's where I think it's got ahead, because what that affords is so much more control than just saying, here's the prompt, right? It's the, I want the driver perspective on the light cycle. I want the driver turning his head to the right as he's driving. I want to zoom in on the face. All of these are
and I want to change from a female to a male, and I want to change from a bike to a car, and I want to change the light from blue to red. You can do all these changes without having to regenerate the entire video.
And I think
this is one of the things I love about this tool.
I think one of the key things there, and you mentioned this at the outset about the Tilly Norwood case, is consistency.
Yes,
right.
Without consistency, I have nothing.
The characters have to be consistent. The bike has to be consistent, scene by scene. And we're already seeing glimpses of. Now, this is again. I think I don't know LTX well enough. Is it usually about 8 to 10 second scenes that it's able to do?
Yeah, but you have like tons of them.
Right, like it's many scenes.
Yeah,
but that to me works great for short form content. Like if I wanted to do like a 3-minute
advertisements,
or social media videos.
Yes,
this is not at the point. We'll get there, but this is not yet at the point where I can make an animated film.
No, but I've heard like, let's say on VO 3.1 that should come anytime soon, that it will allow for, instead of 8-second videos, like more 30-second videos, and like all these models that like companies understand that the money's there. This is why they're going there.
Yeah.
This is why I was so surprised with the Sora 2 decision.
And I don't know if you remember Final Fantasy, I think it was The Spirits Within.
The movie?
Yeah. Like I've heard a little bit.
I was not happy with the movies.
No one was. So Final Fantasy kind of probably, if I'm remembering correctly, some of the best, the most advanced video graphics of its time. And then when it came out that they were making this animated film, there was a lot of excitement about it just because of the caliber of the video games, and it flopped miserably. And so that's
Warcraft was the same. The Warcraft movie was the same.
But that's what's being mentioned in relation to AI film is, if you rush to do it, if you say, oh, we're going to try to be the first AI film to come out, we've got these examples where we've seen that it doesn't necessarily work out for the better.
No, we do see it, and like it's fascinating how it goes. By the way, the old Sora, if you try to get a video there, it also allows for a storyboard. So I think OpenAI is getting something, but something was lost in translation there, and I don't really know what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like the tool itself, the video creation tool. I like that part. I just wish it hadn't been built into a social media platform.
Yes, yeah. Like Gemini does.
Yeah. Yeah,
But we'll see where it goes. I think we're out of time.
we are out of time. Those of you, thanks for tuning in and checking us out, and we'll see you next time.
Don't we have an outro?
We did not load it this week. Tune in next time for the outro.